funding. $40 million has been allocated for the removal of sediment and debris in Hawke's Bay, while $23.6 million will go towards getting rid of the slash in Tairāwhiti. Residents on the East Coast say while they're grateful, they're frustrated the clean-up has been disrupted by a drip feeding of funds. Alexa Cook reports from Hawke's Bay.
Kia ora, how are we?
Arriving in Hawke's Bay to meet cyclone-hit farmers.
Nice to see you, Paula. Good to see you.
And listen to red-zoned residents' concerns.
There needs to be more consultation, or nobody apart from the chap who put the yellow sticker on has ever been to the house.
Before jumping in a ute for a tour of the Bearsley's silt-covered orchard, land they've been farming for generations.
It's been absolutely overwhelming for my family. My dad and my mum have been here 48 years, and we were hit 95% of what they have is gone. It's just gone.
It's already cost $2 million to clean up, and she told Luxon the job is far from over.
On our land, we've got about 100,000 cubes left of silt to move. That's 12,500 truckloads.
But the region's silt recovery task force ground to a halt last year when government funds dried up, leaving jobs like this unfinished.
We were meant to have had all of this silt and debris taken away in December, but unfortunately the silt removal task force has run out of money and winding down. It's making it really impossible to run a business, to be honest, because there's hundreds of people employed by it, and all of a sudden they get a phone call that, oh, there's no work until we get more money.
That money finally announced today to the tune of $40 million.
We know that things need to be moving quicker, and our job as the central government is to work out what can we be doing to try and accelerate and pick up the pace here as well. We know there's an awful lot more for us to do.
Why has it taken you so long to give them this extra funding?
Well, it hasn't really. We've been empowered just on over 2 months.
They've been asking for this money for a long, long time. They asked you before Christmas. It's been, weeks and weeks later.
Yeah, so we've come forward, I think, and I think when you talk to the councils, you'll find that they're very, very pleased the way we've worked with them to actually generate the package that they need in order to get this work done.
And growers are pleased that silt removal can ramp back up again.
This funding is fantastic. Yeah, and we can get back up and going and clear this land.
The establishment of an ombudsman for cyclone recovery was also confirmed today.
I'd like to have that closed out, an agreement on that in the next month.
That job done, his next stop was a cyclone volunteer appreciation event.
And I saw amazing stories on my many visits to the region. People who had had personal devastation to their own orchards, jumping in helicopters, going off and rescuing others. We've heard stories of Neela over here, who's prepared, I think, over 100,000 meals. Incredible, right?
Incredible stories that still live on.
So, Alexa, how much silt is actually left to clean up?
Well, Laura, there is a heap more to clean up. In fact, that $40 million will mean that another 600,000 cubic metres of dirt, silt, sediment, debris like this mountain behind me can finally be removed. And what it means is you see on this mountain of silt, there is actually a lot of rubbish amongst it. So, for example, here, there's all this white kind of plastic sacking stuff that's come out of orchards, and that silt funding will mean that it can be taken through a big machine kind of processing thing that spits the rubbish out one side and the clean silt out the other. And this land, I mean, it's hard to believe, but this actually used to be a beautiful vineyard, and the idea is with this extra funding for silt removal is that finally about 650 hectares of land like this might actually be able to grow crops again and turn over and make those poor people $1 and become productive once more.
Alexa Cook live from Hawke's Bay. Tēnā koe.